Yes, it's time somebody went there with Kimmy's boobs already. Okay, this woman, and you know what? This is the party of the Christian right. This is the party of blaming women for everything that happens to them. This is the party of uh what is it? This is the party of uh what were you wearing? You deserved it. Um you name it. Anything bad that happens to a woman, this is the party that blames them for it. Wants to control everything about a woman. And then look at her. And I know that people have been saying this before. They're saying it right here in the comments. So I'm not going to feel bad about going there because it's about time that somebody did go there. This woman wants to be so hot everywhere she goes, everywhere around Trump. I don't know if she thinks she can be the next Melania. Once Melania takes off, or if they get divorced, or whatever the hell is going on there, maybe she thinks, she can be next in line. But, this woman, she wants to be sexy so bad. A typical plastic woman, okay? Everywhere she goes, no matter what the occasion, no matter who she's with, she's dressed like she's going out to a ballroom or the club. She's dressed like it's time for the club. Hey, guy. And she's out there, and, these are the people that want to talk about modesty and, what's appropriate for women. She's standing there with two guys dressed in conservative suits, dressed like she's ready to go out to the club. And and I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to go there. And like I said, this is the party of hatred of women and blaming women for everything. And I know a lot of people are uncomfortable bringing it up. I'm going to bring it up. Get a fucking boob job. Okay? Look at those things. Look at them in that dress. And she keeps trying to show them off. She keeps trying to show them off. They're weird. They're weird. I've seen botched up implant jobs that look better than those. I mean, she goes without a bra. She wears these very low cut dresses and they're hanging. It looks like she unrolled them. They rolled out and they're tall, they're long, they're hanging like this long. It's not cleavage, it's from clavicle to navel, boob, like she unpins them and they unfurl. That's what they look like. And you can see it even here. Normal boobs are not supposed to do this. Okay? You've got one that is lifted and round and bouncy and nice looking, and the other one is a foot lower than that one. It's a foot lower because if it weren't for what little fabric and little support that she has stuffing those things down, they'd unroll like a fruit roll up and hang down to her fucking navel. And you can see it right here. You can see it with this dress. Look at that. They're not even because they sag, they hang down to her fucking belly button. And it's like, look, if you're proud of your boobs, that's great. If you want to be sexy, show off your boobs, you have every right to do that. That's great. That's fine. Get a fucking boob job, okay? You spend enough money. I can tell you spent enough money on the plastic surgery, on the makeup, on the hair, on the clothes, on the heels. You spend enough money on that shit. I know you've got lip fillers. I know you've gotten your eyes done. I wouldn't feel bad about my bet if I were to put money on the idea that she has had other plastic surgery, maybe a butt lift, maybe a little lipo, maybe a little tummy tuck. And you know what? It doesn't matter. For her age, she does look good, but she's trying so hard to look sexy and look young. And if that's your thing, that's fine. But I mean, I wouldn't even guess she was as old as she was if it weren't for those fucking tits. Look at them. You see these? This is what nice boobage is supposed to look like. They're supposed to be even size and shape. They're supposed to be lifted. They're supposed to be buoyant. Those aren't buoys. The Pope and Raquel Welch in a lifeboat. No, but seriously, they're supposed to be nice and round, nice teardrop shape. They're supposed to be hanging at the same level. And actually, I've watched those plastic surgery shows. What is it? The those with Dr. Nasir or whatever it is. I forgot the name of the show where they fix bad plastic surgery. There is a measurement from your shoulder or your armpit to the tit is supposed to only be a certain number of inches. Whatever. And uh it's like, look, you can tell there's something up there when, and God, I gotta look it up. I gotta look it up just to show you what I'm talking about. She was wearing this dress. She was wearing this dress. Oh God, it was horrible. And you know what? That dress must have cost her like $6,000. Must have cost her like $6,000. And she's got the cleavage there, and the cleavage is this fucking long. It's like a foot and a half long. I can't find the picture of the one dress. You see, and at this point, it's not even a matter of the right bra. Okay, she could have nice boobage with the right bra, and this is what the problem is. She could have the right boobage with the right bra, but she won't wear the right bra. She insists on wearing these dresses like those, cut all the way down the torso to the navel. She's obviously not taping up the ladies. She is not wearing any type of bra, and this is what happens. That long, her boob hangs. And look at this. One boob is down here and one's up here. You can't go without a bra. You cannot go without a bra. Your boobs are not lifted. You have the boobs of a 90-year-old woman. They're not supposed to unfurl like a party favor. And that's what they're doing. And it's laughable. I can't even find it. You see, when she wears a bra, when she covers the boob, they look good because they're brought up and they're squished together or they're packed down. And then she gets nice cleavage, and that's good. But this, I mean, it's amazing. You know, I don't even want to look up how old she is. I know she's not young, but you know, you can tell. It's just the thing you can tell. She puts in a lot of money and a lot of effort to try to be the sexiest woman in the room, to look hot, to get male attention. You can tell she put in a lot of money. She puts in a lot of effort to do it, only to wear these deep plunge neck dresses and show off these 90-year-old sagging tits. And some people won't say it. Some people bring up other things. Some people, they don't care. If they're seeing cleavage, it's good cleavage and that's fine. It's like when Donald wears the orange makeup. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a guy wearing makeup, trying to even out the skin. Why the fuck does it have to be orange? It's dark orange. It's the same for you as it would be for any woman. That actually, back when I was in junior high and girls were starting to wear makeup, foundation, and blush and mascara and shit, that's like a seventh grade level amateur mistake. Buying foundation that is not the right shade and not the right undertone. Girls would be walking into school with orange faces because they just pick up foundation or they pick up the shade they wish they were, but they're not. Or it oxidizes because they don't test it out. They don't buy the right formula. So then they have this orange mask and the rest of their skin is pale. And they walk around like that thinking they look good. And it's like, it's sad because wearing makeup, you applied it good. The idea of wearing makeup could look good on you. The foundation is orange. It's 6 shades darker than your skin tone. That doesn't look good. And there's something really sad about, and they'll complain too. My mother took me to the Clinique counter. I spent $38.95 on this foundation. Hey, Dinesh. I spent $38.95 on this foundation. I bought a $20 makeup brush or a sponge. Yeah, we know. We know. I'm sure you spend a lot of money on the makeup. I'm sure you put a lot of time and money and effort into this look. And your face is fucking orange. And we're saying this to help you. It's not doing you any favors. Just go back and exchange it with a lighter color. It's sad when you put in that amount of time and money and effort to try to look good. And we get it. We appreciate it. And the foundation is orange. And then you got this one. I bet she took 2.5 hours getting ready for this event tonight. The sexy dress. She probably exercises 2 hours a day. She probably eats nothing but yogurt and bok choy. With the fillers and the minor plastic surgeries and all the time on the hair. Gotta have the long hair with the loose curls. That's what the hot chicks do with their hair, right? Gotta have the heels. Probably spent a fortune on laser hair removal, for all you know. I could only guess at what time and effort and money she spent trying to look like the sexiest woman in the room. Just to have these fruit roll-up titties give her away. It's like it ruins the whole thing. Spend the money and get a boob lift. Hey, I'm not giving up any of my titties. And that's the thing. I used to get made fun of for the size of my boobs. It took a long time for me to learn to love my boobs. I was a natural double D cup since I was 13. And I ain't gonna go out in a dress like that at like 60 whatever if they get to look like fruit roll-ups. Hell, with the size of my boobs, I could get a free reduction. Probably get it covered by insurance. Free boob lift. Spend the money and get a boob lift. They're supposed to be even. They're supposed to be the same size, the same shape, and they're supposed to lie at the same level. We can tell that they're not. When you wear these dresses, your boobs aren't the same size and shape. One is 1.5 feet longer than the other one. And I wish I could find that picture of that dress. I think it was a satin green dress with another one of those deep cuts. The cleavage, the boobs hung this far. It just boggles my mind. You go to all this trouble. You want to look young, you want to look sexy, and you got this under your dress. I'm not 20 years old, and my tits don't do that. It's the last time I saw hanging boobs like that uh, probably was when the Jackass crew dressed up like the old lady that got her dress ripped off by the taxi cab. And they were hanging down to here. That's like what those look like. It I don't know. It boggles the mind. all the money you spend. Yeah, and they're going her face, her hot dog lips, looking like a gargoyle, mental damage. She probably made passes at her kids' significant others. This is how she looked like once upon a time before the plastic surgery. She used to look good. You see, people will make all of these yeah. Yeah, that's a possibility. Well, I don't know if doctors would do that. Only do one boob and not the other. Unless she did have a boob job and it got fucked up and they had to do some corrective surgery. But looking at all the work that I know she's had done, there's no way she would work on one boob and not the other. No, in that other dress, they were both hanging. Okay, they were hanging. They're only lifted and round as they are, because they're squished into the dress. And even then, it's not working with the right boob. The right boob is hanging lower than the left. Okay, shell out a few bucks. I know you fucking got it. And get those things shortened up. You want to look sexy. You want to try so hard to look young. You want people to look at your boobs. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. You've done who knows what to yourself anyway. You look nothing like your former self. Shell out a few bucks and get those boobs evened up. Stick them in the pencil sharpener and get them whittled down a little. Ah, well, that's flattering. I don't know if I'd wear that dress. I got some weight to lose myself, but don't think that extra weight means that that's the only reason I got titties. I don't know. It's just maybe people don't want to mention the boobs because they think that's crossing a line. I get it. As a woman with big boobs, um, and people are talking about her looks anyway, forget the lips, forget the heels, forget the dresses that she bought in the young miss department for somebody a third of her age. Forget the hair, forget everything else. I'm going to talk about those disgusting tits. I just am. Get those things shortened up. Then you can wear the dress and they'll look like real nice boobs. Right now, you got two party favors in a sexy dress.
Another country and learn.
Oh boy. What did I want to go over to? Oh, yeah. Debating January 6th supporter. This is wild.
Our president, that's fucked up.
If I broke into your house through your window, would you shoot me?
Oh, fuck yeah. I'd shoot you before you got in the window.
So when there are Congress people in Congress and Ashley Babbitt's trying to break through and they think the cops are standing there saying stop, stop, stop.
Oh, no.
They absolutely said stop. Ashley Babbitt was a veteran. She should know what self-defense looks like. And when you're breaking through a window and people are pointing guns at you, it's almost implied that, hey, maybe you shouldn't be breaking through the Congress people.
That was the most awesome, patriotic, peaceful. And I was up there 2 weeks earlier for the MAGA Million March and
Patriotic and peaceful. Oh, these fucking idiots. Patriotic and peaceful. They murdered her. If I broke into your house, would you shoot me? I'd shoot you before you came in the window. So you'd open fire before they even broke the glass. But Ashley Babbitt's a hero, right?
Tifa attacked us, by the way.
Can you explain to me what's patriotic about chanting "Hang Mike Pence" while he's certifying the results of the election?
Oh, wow.
Let me ask you, what was going on inside the Capitol? What was Mike Pence doing? What was he there to do that day?
He was there to,
Certify?
you ain't gotta walk me through it, Adam. He was there
Yeah, you seem like you need the help,
to
bitch.
be a vice president and to uphold his duties as such.
And uphold his duties as such. What were the Trump supporters doing when they were breaking in and there was a small group?
Trump supporters like that, because
What were you guys trying to do when you guys were trying to break in? You're just saying that you guys were all there.
trying to break in. I didn't go to the Capitol.
So the people that tried to break in, let's talk about them. You're just genuinely going to sit here and say all of these people were just disillusioned. So we can agree on a few things. Number one, on January 6th, Mike Pence was there to certify the election results. Number two, there was a crowd of Trump supporters at the Capitol. Do you think they were trying to stop that certification?
I can tell you, well, we were trying to stop it physically, like,
We were trying to stop it physically.
No violence there, come on.
okay,
Ashley Babbitt breaking through a window.
You cannot talk to these people. This is the reason you've got to vote. All of the people they love right out of office, and they're like little kids. They have to be bopped on the nose in one way or another and told no. Can't have a battle of intelligence with an unarmed opponent. Never argue with an idiot. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Never wrestle with a pig. You get dirty and the pig enjoys it. Yeah, these little... What are they? You've never heard of the pigeon playing chess thing? Time to employ mental gymnastic tactics. She's got an edge in mental gymnastics. She somehow swings to a quadruple somersault on an IQ bar 3 inches off the ground. Very impressive. I'm pretty sure that's in Sun Tzu's Art of War. Zap Brannigan's Big Book of War. Thank you for your follows. Love how her narrative jumps back and forth from they to we. Can't keep her story straight. She was probably there. Yeah, either she was there and she's too scared to admit it, which is such a pussy-ass thing to do, or she's trying to say when it comes to the bad stuff, it doesn't involve her. When it comes to the good stuff, it's we, not them. But if you're proud of it, if you're such a patriot for supporting it, whether you were there or not, why would you dip back and forth? I mean, when you do that shit, what you're telling people is that you know it's wrong. If you're trying to convince the public, America, that what you did isn't wrong, that what happened was the absolute right thing, the patriotic thing, the perfect thing real Americans do, you would own that shit. You better own that shit. And this is how we know she's either full of shit or she knows that it was wrong. Ha, what's the point of listening when you don't understand what's being said? Not like she's going to change her opinion, at least not without Trump and Newsmax there to tell her what to think. Because they aren't listening or trying to have an actual conversation. They're just waiting for him to stop talking so they can regurgitate a scripted and rehearsed response. They don't care what's said up until it's their turn to speak. Smooth brain is one of my all-time favorite insults. She's a lost cause. Gotta hope the generation coming up behind her isn't this breathtakingly stupid. Well, she and her people are raising the next gen, so I have no hope. Okay. That's funny. Can't have an intelligent conversation with these people no matter how hard you try. They don't live in reality. You can say the sky is blue and they're going to say it's green. The truth means nothing to them. My parents, both of them, diehard Trump supporters. And my mom says some stupid fucking shit. And she actually tried that one with me. I could say the sky is blue and you'll say it's green. That's just what I was going to say. You know, and it sucks too because you probably didn't even come up with that one on your own. You heard someone on Fox News say it. And you want to know why they say it? Because somebody like me said it about somebody like them. One thing I notice with these people, and it's sad, you know, I thought I got out of that shit in high school, but no, they don't have anything coherent, logical, or original. Nothing of their own. They take what people say about them, switch out a few words, and repeat it. No, you. If you look at my Twitter, half of my posts mention no, you. Or the picture of the giant projector, because that's all these people have. They don't have a single original thought in their head. And that guy is telling the truth. It's waiting for the other person to stop talking waiting for the other person to stop talking so they can give rehearsed, regurgitated talking points and little arguments that they learned, like sound bites that they picked up from Fox News or Newsmax or whatever talking head right-wing pundit that they've been watching YouTube clips from. And the thing is, they can't even build off of that, come up with a cogent argument or debate around the sound bites and the talking points and the slogans, because they don't even understand what they're picking up from these news stations or these faux news stations. They don't get it. And here's one of the terrorists behind the Moscow shooting in court today, barely coherent, torture signs all over his face. The plastic bag they used to strangle him is still around his neck. I guess they're still using plastic shopping bags over in Mother Russia. This is sad.
До наработки обои не нарушаем. Вопросы не задаем. По первой команде покидаем зал заседания.
Хорошо, давай. Да, я верю.
Ah, it's like the guy doesn't even know where he is. These people are so up their own ass. They don't even understand how this looks to people outside. It is. It's a blue plastic shopping bag still around his neck.
Время выходим.
From what it sounds like, he's the one in the body cam video ISIS made who was seen slitting the throat of one of the victims, so I don't feel really bad for him. Fuck these ISIS guys. This guy is totally and utterly fucked. I don't feel bad for him at all. They're like the plague. Not that comparing makes anyone better. They're all absolutely horrid monsters who don't belong on Earth, but I gotta say, these cartels are some fucking how even worse than ISIS. They truly are the most sadistic and horrid, making ISIS look quick and painless in comparison. What makes it more terrifying is that I saw on Reddit that one cartel is the 5th largest employer in Mexico. What? Why are we talking about Mexican cartels? Yeah, we get it. Cartels are bad. Yeah, probably. Although I'd be more inclined to think, because a lot of Muslims will say when they're interviewed that it's politics. You know, these people get into political power and they use religion to get vulnerable, dumb people to do their dirty work. And they'll tell them, you do this, you'll be a hero. It says it in the Quran, and you're going to go up to heaven and get 72 virgins and Meanwhile, these people probably, like our own government, they don't believe any of this religious shit. They're all about money and power and their own interests. And these poor people, they're the ones who are the religious freaks who will go ahead and do their dirty work for them, thinking it's real. They're going to go to heaven. Isn't there the teeniest bit of concern that a nuclear-armed state with a permanent seat on the UN Security Council is now parading severely tortured prisoners to the world like ISIS does? ISIS parades around innocent civilians. These fuckers are not the same as victims ISIS made. Oh, because Russia doesn't do this shit to any one of their citizens. Yeah, that's probably true. It's kind of hard for ISIS to kill people out of the Middle East when, you know, they're not going to last too long with airport security and, one shoe and no weapons they can smuggle through and crazy Christian Texans at the Mexican border and yeah, torture is still wrong because you start with some evil fuckers and then after that anyone you don't like is evil. Exactly. Except they don't start with some evil fuckers. Police in Russia, they'll do this to anyone with or without a crime. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This isn't about ISIS. It isn't about a terrorist attack. It's about Russia decided. So they'll do it to you, they'll do it to anyone. ISIS, a woman with a babushka, a journalist, where there's an open window, they'll take care of you. Yeah, the funding is a major thing. Russians are talking about reinstating the death penalty for these guys. Oh, will you shut the fuck up? Russia never got rid of the death penalty. Love how people talk like,
because
you know, it all works according to what's on paper. There's a perfectly just and equal and fair system for everyone. And that's how it goes all the time. They'll shove a corkscrew up this guy's ass, toss him out a window into a moat full of alligators, and then say he's been sentenced to prison for his terroristic crimes. Oh, and get this. Did you hear about this?
they enabled it. Do you want to know what they should be scared of?
Video no longer available. Reddit. You're really concerning me here. This kid on TikTok was talking about something. I'm looking for a mirror. Apparently, this bill they just passed I'll bet Russia will kill him and replace him with a body double. Are you kidding me? Anyway, this kid on TikTok is talking about the bill that was just passed, which takes all recourse away from Palestinians. Palestinians cannot complain to the UN anymore. They can't try to seek internationally legal repercussions against Israel. Come on, you
Explain to me, why
poop
is it
pants.
that not a single news outlet has reported on the fact that this weekend, U.S. politicians passed legislation to try to stop Palestinians from taking Israel to court to try to prove their suffering, oppression, and genocide? You heard me right. In the big spending bill that U.S. politicians passed into law over the weekend, they inserted dozens of things for Israel and against Palestinians, including stating that if Palestinians try to take Israel to the International Criminal Court to prove Israel's war crimes and genocide against their people, then the United States will no longer support a Palestinian state, and Palestine will not receive any more U.S. funding. Like I said yesterday, this is the equivalent of trying to stop the Nuremberg trials from happening.
Yeah, the thing with Nuremberg trials is the war had to be over and everybody caught in order to have the Nuremberg trials. With this conflict right here, they're looking at their version of the final solution actually being final. They're looking at wiping everybody out so there are no more Palestinians that can have a 2.0 version of the Nuremberg trials.
I hope you guys can see how corrupt this is. U.S. politicians are purely protecting Israel from being held responsible for what they've done to the Palestinians. This is wrong. This is evil. Every single politician who voted this legislation into law is culpable in this genocide. This is a big deal and really shows the hands of our politicians, and yet not a single news outlet has reported on this. It seems like I'm the only one who read the bill. Do we not have journalism in this country anymore? You know what I think? I think U.S. politicians are scared. Scared that if they aren't loyal to Israel, they'll lose their campaign funding. Scared that if Israel gets taken to court and loses, then they'll be culpable for a genocide because they enabled it.
You think they give a shit about a genocide, feeling bad about a genocide? If they felt bad about a genocide, if they gave a shit, if this was about the human impact, they would be doing something right now. They would have done something months ago. No, you don't get to say if they had Nuremberg Trial 2.0 a few months from now or a couple of years from now. That's what the politicians are worried about, that then it would be established as a genocide and they'd feel bad. They don't care. They don't care now. They wouldn't care a year from now, just like they didn't care when this started. Okay, it's money. It's money, it's support, it's power. No, I would take that part out. If they finally took it to an international court and it officially is called a genocide, then they're going to feel bad, and that's what they're afraid of, which is why they're not doing anything. They don't give a shit now. They never did give a shit, and they won't give a shit.
You want to know what they should be scared of, but they don't have to be? Journalism, media. The media is a check on government power. It's a check on officials, and they aren't doing their job. They aren't reporting fairly. They aren't reporting the things they need to report on. We've seen this over and over again for months. They don't do their job correctly. And that's why I have been the only person to talk about this online. It makes me so mad.
You are? You're the only person talking about this? Sorry to burst your bubble, kid, but it's kind of public knowledge. People know about this bill. People know about the genocide. People know about the Israel-Palestine war. People know about all the money and all the perks being sent Israel's way.
Where's my back? Help more people hear this message by reposting and copying the link on this video before you scroll. And if you want to help suffering Palestinians, I'm running a fundraiser for the UNRWA. It's the first link in my bio, and you can also find it on my Instagram profile. Thank you, and free Palestine.
Yeah. Nobody knows about this. Nobody's talking about this. Oh, God. Some of these kids, they have the right idea, but I'm not going to say anything about how they can be very insightful and naive at the same time. No offense, but it's like he thinks he's the first person to say journalists aren't doing their jobs. Michael Moore said this in his documentary over 20 years ago. That was one of the points of his early documentaries. The fact that he's pissed at journalists for not doing their jobs. The job of a press in a free country is to speak truth to power. It's to hold our representatives to task. It's to ask the hard questions. It's to demand answers to those questions. And we live in a country where the press has absolute power to do that. They're supposed to be doing that, and they don't. And they don't do it because money, they're paid off. Which is another thing I would expect this kid to say. Journalists are doing their jobs and it's sad. Yeah, because they're all owned by certain vested political interests, or they're privately owned. You know, we're getting closer and closer to a monopoly in all areas in this country. It's like 4 companies own all the subsidiaries that make your food products. You know, it's like Rupert Murdoch owns half of the right-wing news outlets you watch. Of course you're going to be mad at journalists. Of course they're not going to be doing their jobs. They're all bought and sold and paid for. They're owned by private interests. I mean, it's nice you know how it's supposed to work. Now you gotta kind of remember, you gotta learn how it actually works. It's not going to go away unless everybody understands this and everybody gets on board. And you wonder why other advanced countries, they don't have these problems. I posted this not too long ago. My blood boils every time I hear people who are interviewed in other advanced nations. We would never tolerate this. We would never accept that. We would never allow these people to do this. We could never do that in our job. We would never put up with this or that or the other thing. That's all I hear from these people. All the shit we put up with, we have to deal with, and that's all they say when they're asked about the same issues. We would never let that happen. We would never tolerate this, that, the other thing. What the fuck is wrong with you? You think that we would let something like that happen in this country? That's for you people. You dumbass Americans. Everywhere you go, like you're the best guy in the room. And you got people who are starving. You got people who can't get health care. You think we put up with that shit in our country? We never put up with that. Because over in those countries, it's far more important for people to get their most basic needs met. They can't take care of big things unless they first take care of the small things. And problems like how are kids going to get an education? How are people going to get food and clean water and medical care? Those are tiny problems to them that they don't have to worry about. I guess you could say they hold some truths to be self-evident. Some things are just so basic, so simple, so common sense, it should never be argued. There should never be a debate about it. Food, health care, medicine, education, transportation, cleanliness, protecting your environment, housing. They don't leave anybody behind. These are fundamental needs, especially if you're going to call yourself an advanced nation. Things like clean water and electricity and transportation. You know, things that rich people over here tell you to do without. Because Abraham Lincoln never had electricity. You want to call yourself the richest and best and most advanced nation in the world. These people, nobody goes without power and water and education, higher education. They pay for people's college. Nobody gets in between a woman and her doctor. And we can't get that shit over here. Almost, what, like 40% of this country are a bunch of fucking morons that actually have these dolts convincing them that the more they go without, the bigger a patriot they are. And it's working. We can't get anything good on the most basic level. because we got a bunch of stupid fucking people that will not vote in their own interest, and they will not ever vote in your best interest. All right, I'm out of here. I got a phone call coming in, and I want to play some World War Z. Thank you to you guys who followed. I'm also Erupting Chick on Twitter and on YouTube, where this video will be going next. So I'll see ya.